and start the game. Okay. First thing, you can select a movement type in PoE 2. You can either play with mouse, so you have to press your left mouse button and hold it, and the character will basically follow your cursor. So you have this option, and you have movement with WASD, where you can control your character's movement with WASD and use your mouse to aim where you want to cast, which is a little bit harder when you also move your character with mouse. So I and most other players prefer WASD, but just try both options. You can change it at any time in options menu and figure out what fits you the best. So
I will not join the dead today.
you can move with WASD and look around with your cursor, and you have a movement ability which is on spacebar by default, where you can dodge roll while hitting any direction with your character with your cursor, or while walking with WASD. And after you dodge roll with your spacebar, you can keep holding or keep your spacebar pressed, so your character starts sprinting afterwards. And you can dodge roll after the sprint and start sprinting again when you keep holding the spacebar after the second dodge roll, basically. So that's how you run fast around in the map. Be cautious though. If you are running or sprinting in the game with hold spacebar and you get hit by enemies, you might fall over and get stunned by the enemies, and that's very much likely your death in hardcore, because you're very vulnerable when you're laying on the ground and enemies can smash you. Okay, here's a wounded man which needs our help.
You look like you've seen.
Let's talk to him.
Miller went off to warn. I was fixing to go after. Now, I would appreciate it if you could.
I skipped dialogues a bit forward, so it doesn't take ages to make this guide.
Find
He dropped our first weapon. This is an item which dropped on the floor, and we can pick it up by just left-clicking the item. And now the item is in our inventory. We can press I, and there is the wizard wand we just picked up. You can left-click this and put it in your weapon slot in your inventory. This is your character inventory. Basically, this is your bag where everything initially lands in when picking up items. And this is your currently equipped items interface, where our wand is. You can see this on your character. No wand in hand, no wand in hand. Wand in hand. And you have a life potion and a mana potion, and these slots are for charms which are locked now. We get to that point later. So everything what our character currently has equipped is the flasks and a wand. And in our backpack are 3 scrolls of wisdoms which are used to identify unidentified items, which we will show soon. I just saw I have some gold, so I need to clean this leak. I will show you how to do this. I go to character screen, and now I go to leak migration. This is all, you can also do this when you want to transfer your basically SSF character to non-SSF. And this Grizzly's HC SSF Guide League is the child league of HC SSF Fate of the Wall, and I can migrate all. Oh, and now I only have this character in HC SSF Fate of the Wall, and I can make a new character here, which should be fresh now. I can also delete this, so I don't get confused. Lich Grizzly, and start over, and we can skip the intro now. And in what league are we now? We are in Grizzly's HC SSF Guide. Have no gold, perfectly fine. So we can talk to the wounded man again.
Glad to see
You look
the
like-
mill. Now I would appreciate it if you could
And that's where we...
reach Clearfell.
Oh. If you press C, you see your character screen, which indicates that we have a level 1 witch in the riverbank right now. Here are attributes, strength, dexterity, intelligence, which come into gameplay later. We have life, which is indicated here. We have 0 energy shield, which is a protective layer in the game. I will explain later. We have mana on this blue orb. Spirit, we have 0 of that. That's where we get buffs from. I will show you later. Armor, evasion and block, and resistances. These are the most important stats for now. So strength basically is the main attribute for armor wearing melee characters, and skills require some types of attribute combinations. I will show you later. Dexterity is the same for evasion-based armor characters like rangers, or intelligence is basically for witches and energy shield wearing characters. And this stuff can shift in Path of Exile. You can play an energy-based warrior, energy shield-based warrior, which has a lot of intelligence-based spells and stuff like that. But it gets a little bit far to explain this right now. For now, we stick to the standard builds, and I will explain alongside that. So, but you have all like planning freedom in Path of Exile, or leveling freedom in Path of Exile. So, we picked up our weapon, equipped it, and now we are good to go. One thing before, you can see like this item on the floor, you will get drops a ton in Path of Exile. Even more in Path of Exile 1, but in Path of Exile 2 it's also a lot of loot. And you might not want to see every item which is laying on the ground. So that's what loot filters are for in Path of Exile. And I quickly show you how to set up a basic loot filter, which is not mandatory right now, but it's good if you saw that before. You can go to the website filterblade.xyz, and you can on the right side sign in with Path of Exile. Email. And you should land on this page. And what I like to do is to set only the strictness level to strict, push export to Path of Exile, give my filter a name like strict, hit sync or download, and then you land on this website where you just press save and sync, and the filter will get uploaded to your Path of Exile account and be available in-game under options, game, item filter, and strict. And then you can push this refresh button and see the last update on the filter should be like a couple of minutes ago if you follow the guide, and then you're set. As we are in the options menu, there are one or two options. I guess the one options is how you want to configure your map. That's the minimap on the top right, and if you press tab, you have this bigger map inside the middle, which you can like scroll down with the arrow keys, and can press tab again to only have the minimap, which I tend to swap between minimap and big map quite often. You will see when I play the game. And you can basically configure the map here a little bit how you like. I prefer a cleaner map with no landscape, and you can show corners or not, show this minimap or not, center, map zoom. Yeah, you can configure your map here. Always show sockets is nice, show full item description is nice, support gem utility pop is also nice, show live mana levels is basically the number here. I like to keep that on. There was one. Yeah. Show mini life bar above NPCs. I like to have this when I play alone on allies, enemies only. If you play together with a friend, I like allies and enemies more because you have a green health bar above your allies as well. But as I play alone, enemies only is good for now. So as we equipped our wizard wand, we got an ability here, Chaos Bolt, which comes from the wand itself. Here it's written Grand Skill Level 1 Chaos Bolt. And if we press Alt on our keyboard and hover over this dotted line text, we can actually see skill information about this Chaos Bolt skill. It's a skill with that does not work so good. You can press G to see this Chaos Bolt spell, and now you can hover better here over the skill. So this Chaos Bolt spell is a spell type, and it has tags. It is a projectile and does chaos damage. It's level 1. It costs 0 mana. It has a cast time of 0.75 seconds, a 7% critical hit chance, deals 5 to 9 chaos damage, inflicts wizard, and now you can see. Okay, what's wizard? Yeah, wizard applies 5% increased chaos damage taken and can be infected up to 10 times. This wizard will be inflicted on hit. Wizard lasts for seconds. And so you can basically figure out what each spell does. It's not as detailed as this every time, but it's good at the start to show you this one time. You can also open additional skill info here, where you can basically see even a little bit more information about this spell. This spell comes with the wand and is automatically binded on my left mouse button here, Chaos Bolt. And here are my keybinds are left mouse button, then my one of the thumb button on the mouse, right mouse button, QERTF, and if you hold STRG, you have an additional mappable bar, additional to the other 5 here. So if we hold down our left mouse button, we cast our Chaos Bolt infinitely without mana cost, because Chaos Bolt cost 0 mana. And we can progress through this area. And actually, in the starting area, you don't have to fight anything. If you fight anything, you see, here's your experience bar, and it raises as we kill enemies. But this area has an end boss, and if we kill the end boss, we automatically fill our remaining level 1 experience bar completely. So we just get 1 level up. And it doesn't matter if we killed everything and are close to our level or whatsoever, he will only grant us the level 2 level up. Okay, so now I looted this chest and a rattling scepter dropped. I picked it up and moved it into my offhand. And this scepter has also a default spell, which is level 1 skeleton warrior minion. First 2 minions summoned have no base spirit reservation. This activate to summon reviving skeletal warriors. So we added this spell automatically with this summoning spell, and with the scepter we got some spirit. Here is written 100 spirit, which is this spirit and this yellow line. And we can add for 60 spirit 1 more skeletal warrior. So we can add this plus sign. Or we remove them. The first 2 are basically free, 100 from 100 spirit. Second costs 60 spirit, so we have 40 spirit left, and 3 minions. That's the power of this scepter, which is for this area a good weapon, and there are minion builds in the game which basically build on top of this kind of minions. We have a different build approach, but it's possible. If you like a minion playstyle, look for a minion guide. Now in the next chest there is our first skill gem. We pick this up, press I, and here is our spirit gem. This spirit gem also has the tags minion, area of effect, which is basically an area where the skill works in, physical and duration. This doesn't matter that much. What matters the most is basically this text to figure out how the spell works. Raise spikes of bone from the earth in front of you, damaging enemies. The bones of corpses and dead reviving minions in the area are ripped out and reassembled into short-lived bone construct minions that fight for you. Larger corpses create more than 1 bone construct. And when we click on the spell, our skill gem menu opened by G or closed by G opens, and we can put this skill gem into this place, into the socket. And as we did this, we can move this skill itself into our bar and bind it to my right mouse button, for example. And now if I press my right mouse button, I cast Unearth. And when we now kill enemies with Unearth or use Unearth on corpses, the corpses rise and convert it into minions. Let's kill 2 zombies here and cast Unearth on them. And now we have 2 creepy looking scorpion, alien stuff minions. So Now we can just run through the area, watch out for this little bugs. As you see, they do a lot of damage and might kill your character even in the first zone. Try to dodge the spells as good as possible. Maybe just run through the end boss of this area. Pick up items. You can actually check the item. I will show you right now. Just get into safety. So we leveled up.
Of true power.
At this point we open our passive skill menu by either pressing on this plus icon or by pressing P for passive skill tree. And now this might overwhelm people. I heard that a lot from new Path of Exile players. But it's actually not that hard, because at first you just have two options to go to. It's not that we just can click here or somewhere. We need to travel through a connected path through here, and it's really not that hard. If you get the hang of what nodes you basically need, we are a basically chaos-based damage character, and we could search for chaos nodes here. And I know this character will be an energy shield based character on the defense side, so I can use energy shield here. And basically you can pre-plan a build by noting what major benefits you want from this character and build a basically passive skill tree around this attributes you want from the skill tree. So for now, we know this build will be a chaos-based damage character, and chaos damage also benefits from spell damage, because our Chaos Bolt, for example, is a chaos spell. So spell damage will increase this damage, and chaos damage will also increase this damage. And the skills we will use later also are chaos-based spells. So we have the option to either increase spell damage and minion damage by 8%, or maximum energy shield. And energy shield is basically a shield around your life, which needs to get depleted before damage can touch your life. So an absorb shield basically. And energy shield is a really good defense mechanism later in the game, but isn't really at the start of the game, because energy shield gets reduced from hits by enemies and needs a couple of seconds to refresh, and in that time you are not allowed to get any more damage because it interrupts the refreshing of the energy shield. Well, energy shield protects your life by taking damage instead. Rapidly charges if you don't lose energy shield for a short time. Basically, don't get hit for a short time. Chaos damage removes twice as much energy shield. Damage from bleeding and poison bypasses energy shield to remove life directly. So it is a very good defensive mechanism in Path of Exile 2, but it starts to really get good when you have multiple bigger keynotes here to bolster your energy shield. And at the start of the game, I would prefer life over energy shield at the beginning. But we also need to do some damage. As more damage we do, the easier the game gets, basically, because the fights don't take so long. So in this build we first back a bit into damage, so the enemies just die faster, which is Very solid choice. Okay, here is a checkpoint. If you die after activating this checkpoint in this area, you will just respawn at this checkpoint and can keep going. That's what checkpoints are for. In areas where you collected multiple checkpoints, you can just click a checkpoint and swap or travel from checkpoint to checkpoint, so you don't have to move all the way back. And they refresh the first time you activate them, they refresh your life and mana flask. So if this would have been empty because I got a lot of damage here before, this will be full. Okay. Now this message, don't disappear. That's better. That's better, guys. That's better. Yeah, okay. So now there is the first boss for this area, the Bloated Miller. And he has this charge attack we need to dodge and this slam attack. The game tells us press spacebar to avoid the attack. We press spacebar and roll along. Now he punches a little bit with his default attacks and we just keep casting our Chaos Bolt and Unleash on them. And now he charges again. And as you see, before he does one of his special attacks, he charges red. And there is a slight audio warning, like a little jingle when he basically starts his dangerous animations. You can just roll out of his smash, and now he charges. And we can use the Unearth to revive the dead zombies we just killed here to also hit him. You can see this green blinking zombies that are available for unearthing. And dodge. And now the first boss is dead.
Impressive size, but
And we loot all the stuff he drops. And we go into Clearfell Encampment.
is this all that remains?
This is our first base. Here are only friendly people. And we can sell stuff and talk to them. This is Renly. And Renly gives us an uncut skill gem for defeating the Miller. And uncut skill gems are basically another new quest, and goodbye. Uncut skill gems are basically skill gems which we can choose which skill it becomes. So if we right click on the uncut skill gem, we get this window, gem cutting, where we can choose which skill we want to transform this uncut skill gem into. For our builds, this will be Contagion. Afflict a single enemy with a debuff that deals chaos damage over time. If the enemy dies while affected by Contagion, it and all other chaos damage over time debuffs spread to nearby enemies and refresh their duration. Reanimating or detonating a corpse affected by Contagion will cause a minion or explosion to spread Contagion on hit. You can click on the skills and see a little video description here on the bottom right.
Monsters that die while infected with contagion will spread the infection to nearby enemies. The damage of a contagion increases each time it spreads. Other chaos debuffs on the enemy, such as Essence Drain, will also be spread. Infected corpses can be used to spread contagion if you use a skill that targets the corpse, such as Unearth. Monsters that die while
So, we just learned that Unearth has a
while infected with
good combination with Contagion. So, we pick this for now. Other options, maybe if you want to play a minion build, Skeletal Sniper is a good option, where you can, additionally to your warriors, spawn sniper or archer minions. Unearth, that's what we get for free for being a witch at the start. And Contagion is what we want to engrave now. And this Contagion spell lands in our bag, and we can, just as we did with Unearth, put it into our skills section here into the socket and have Contagion available. And I like to do now, because Contagion is now one of our main skills, which we cast at the beginning of a fight. I like to put Contagion here on my left mouse button. You can also do this by clicking on the keybind itself and then selecting which spell should be associated to this keybind, Contagion. And on mouse button 4, which is one of my thumb buttons on my mouse, I will put Chaos Bolt, because this is now less priority. And Unearth stays on the right mouse button. Now, what are we doing with the loot we got from the first area and from the Bloated Miller? This is unidentified. I cannot put this on my character right now. That's what this scroll of wisdoms are for. You can right click on the scroll of wisdom and left click the scroll of wisdom. You see it's on my cursor right now, on this body armor, and it reveals what modifiers this body armor has. Evasion rating and maximum energy shield. Evasion rating is basically an alternative or complement to energy shield. We have three major types of armor. We have armor itself as armor type. Armor reduces the physical damage you take from both attacks and spells, but provides no benefit against other damage types. Exact damage reductions depend on the damage dealt, but cannot be higher than 90%. Armor tends to be a type of defense which helps mitigating damage from smaller hits, or because how armor works in the game. Evasion basically is a chance to dodge an attack and just don't get the damage from the attack, especially from projectiles. And energy shield is basically the stuff we explained earlier, which protects your life with an extra bar, with an extra shield. So we have armor which has both now, evasion and energy shield. And as we have basically no armor and be naked on this slot, we can just put it on. And you see visually your character changes as well. We can also do this with the belt, because we have no belt and 20 to armor is better than nothing. And we also unlocked a charm slot, which we do not have right now. We don't have a charm right now, but we could possibly slot one in right now. And the others are a quarterstaff and a shield. And we currently are not using a quarterstaff or a shield. We can identify the shield because it would probably work with our build, but the stats are for now not as good as having these minions, to be honest. So that's what we left with this shield and quarterstaff, and we can talk to... let's talk to Finn first. Finn is a character here in the encampment who sells gamble items. You can spend gold, which we have 5 for now, to buy a random energy shield based boot. And the stats which are rolled on this item would be random. So this is totally gamble and, in my opinion, not worth early in the game. Then we have Una.
Welcome to the camp of the lost, stranger.
Una also has a quest for us, but Una also can buy or sell items,
These over time.
or you can buy or sell items at Una. And Una has multiple types of stuff you can buy from. First of all, you can buy additional Scroll of Wisdoms from Una, and caster weapons and caster offhands, like one of our the scepters or a caster shield or wands or spell-based staffs and mana flask and life flasks. And you can sell items at Una. And as you see, this shield is already identified, and you can sell this shield for 26 gold. And this red quarterstaff is unidentified and only worth 7 gold. So identified items tend to be more gold value than unidentified. And a good trick is we can just sell this because that's 26 gold and it won't get more value anyhow. So just sell for 26 gold. And this one I like to put in my stash for now, because later in the campaign we have one character, we unlock a character who identifies our items for free. And as this is now worth selling 7 gold, maybe then it's worth selling for 30 or 20 gold and we get more value out of it. So for now, I just put it here. And this is additional, basically, stash tabs you can buy in the in-game shop from Path of Exile. I try to just use like these. This 5, which should look more or less the same as you have if you never bought any stash tab. So I put this orb of augmentation, which is later used for crafting. I put this here on the first stash tab, and I put the other one in the second stash tab. And it's very, very good in the campaign, especially for hardcore, to look for specific items at vendors, which can help you a lot. Una, for example, sells caster weapons, as I mentioned, and we are a chaos-based spellcaster with this build. And ideally, what we are looking for is some wand with the stat plus 1 to level 2 spell gems or plus 1 level 2 chaos. None of that is available here, and you can search here with as a shop with the search bar. So none here yet. And at Renly's shop, you can buy or sell armor too, but here is melee-based weapons and bows, crossbows for range-based weapons, and body armors. Una does not sell armor at all, only weapons and shield for casters, but not
Pieces.
gloves and
Catch your eye.
helmets and boots and stuff like that. This only is sold by Renly. So what we are looking for on the armor side is first priority is boots with movement speed. These boots have fire resistance, this have maximum energy shield, so no movement speed for now. Maximum mana, this one has movement speed. This would be boots I would buy immediately if I would have the gold. I have 31 gold now. These boots cost 383 gold and are not available now because we are fucking poor. And movement speed is a super good stat in Path of Exile. First of all, we move faster and clear the campaign faster, but also because of we move faster, we are faster out of enemy spells and don't get hit that often because we just can move around the enemies quicker. So this would be my number one priority, to buy boots with movement speed, and ideally as second stat resistance, just one resistance like fire, cold, like this, or lightning. This would be perfectly boots to buy at the start of the game. And the second priority would be a wand with plus spell or chaos from Una. We will look occasionally if they provide one. And after we have boots and a wand, we look for any armor with maximum life and resistance. Like, if this would have maximum life, this would be good. This would be good. This would be good. The gloves could be good but it's not maximum life, it's maximum mana, but it has resistance. But we basically want maximum life and resistance. This belt would be good, but it's 1460. But that's the type of stats we're looking for. And a quick explanation to like this stats on items. This wand here has 0 modifiers, like none. It's white, and as soon as an item gets 1 modifier, like this chest piece, body armor, it becomes blue. This is a normal item and this is a blue magic item. And we see here 1 prefix modifier, which is evasion rating and maximum energy shield, and no suffix modifier. A magic item can have 1 prefix modifier and 1 suffix modifier. And a rare item, which will have yellow text, can have 3 prefix modifier and 3 suffix modifiers. And when we are looking for an armor piece, which has maximum energy, maximum life and resistance, you can see like on this belt. This belt is magic, has 2 modifiers, 1 prefix and 1 suffix modifier. The prefix is maximum life and the suffix is fire resistance. And that's all this item can have if it stays magic item. We will have options to transform this item into a yellow item with more modifiers later in the game. So what we can do now, which is a little bit luck dependent, is we have this white normal wand. And we found a orb of augmentation. Augments a magic item with a new random modifier. Okay, so this adds 1 more modifier to already magic item. So on this one, it will not work. Like this target is not magic. Here is the error message. Target is not magic. We can, however, add this orb of augmentation to our body armor. And we can hope to hit maybe a resistance stat on this body armor. And we got life regeneration per set, which is not too bad, but it's not what we want. And to be honest, this was just a showcase to show you how to basically craft in the early game with this orb of augmentation. I would not consider it worth to like put this currency, this orb onto this chest piece. It would have been better spent on a one with already one good magic stat, but just to show you. Also, Una, I show you with this magic quarterstaff, has the option to disenchant items. You can put magic items here and destroy the magic items, get 0 gold out of it, but get a shard of transmutation, and 10 shards become 1 orb of transmutation, which is the item we need to make a magic item out of a normal item. Basically, for example, the wand. We can do this and put the shard into our stash here. Okay, that's Clearfell Encampment for now. If you're ever wondering what's the area called you're in, you can just press tab. And on the top right, you see we're in Clearfell Encampment right now and in the League Grizzlies HC SSF guide. Yeah, that's everything here in Clearfell Encampment, and I will see you in the next video.